Welcome to the Civic Engagement and Leadership Series, Personal Branding for Leaders. This program is a collaboration between Walden University's Career Planning and Development Department and the Office of Civic Engagement and Leadership. We thank you again for joining us. Before I hand it over to our wonderful speakers, I want to review some instructions for navigating and participating in this session. Audio is muted and video sharing is not available for participants. Feel free to resize or move any of the session content tools around your screen. Next, enter your questions for the presenters in the Ask Questions section, and we will share your questions as time allows. The attendee chat is also available throughout this session. Access the related content for a PDF of the presentation, as well as downloading links and resources. If any of the tool windows disappear, you may access the toolbar at the bottom of your screen to open it again. As a reminder, this webinar is being recorded and will be made available using the same link you used to register for the session. Once the session concludes, don't forget to complete the webinar survey to provide feedback. I'll now turn it over to Dr. Rochelle Gilbert.
Greetings, everyone. As she said, I am Dr. Rochelle Gilbert, Associate Vice Provost for the Office of Civic Engagement and Leadership. Welcome to our leadership series, where we are excited to introduce Own Your Narrative, Personal Branding for Purposeful Impact. This series is designed to empower emerging and established leaders to embrace their unique stories, amplify their voices, and lead with authenticity. At Walden, we believe leadership is lived both inside and outside the classroom. That's why we create experiences like this, focused on equipping you with the tools, insight, and confidence to lead with purpose. Likewise, in the Office of Civic Engagement and Leadership, our mission is here. We believe that leadership begins with self-awareness, and personal branding is a powerful tool to define how your values, your strengths, and your passions align with your professional and civic goals. Whether you're navigating your next career move, seeking to grow your influence, or aiming to inspire change in your community, your personal brand is your leadership signature. So what, you may ask? Well, here's how we're creating real impact in the Office of Civic Engagement. Through an expanded university, we're connecting leadership, faculty, staff, students, alumni, prospects, and even our external stakeholders through civic engagement opportunities. In collaboration with the Center for Social Change, we're driving the social change mission. Our leadership approach at its core is the social change model of leadership. So when we look at that, we're looking at interactive sessions, expert insights, and practical strategies. So this series is going to help you craft a brand that reflects who you are, what you stand for, and how you show up in the world. So let's take this journey together to elevate your presence, build connections, and lead with purpose. Today's session on personal branding for leaders is part of our commitment to helping you clarify your goals, amplify your voice, and position yourself to thrive. Your brand is your story, how you show up in rooms and roles and relationships. And today we'll explore how to shape that story intentionally. Remember that your story matters, and it starts with how you tell it. A big thank you to our partners in the Office of Career Planning and Development and our tech team, Kayla Whitlis, for making today possible. You'll receive a certificate of completion after this session, and I encourage you to take full advantage of what this session offers. Now, let's get ready to get the W, whether it's wellness, wisdom, work, or walking boldly to your next win. Remember, we are Walden. Over to Gladys Peters. Dr. Peters?
evening to introduce you to our facilitator for this evening's discussion. Dina Bergen is the manager of Walden's University Department of Career Planning and Development, where she coordinates our operations, develop career-related content, and provides support. Dina has been with Walden since 2006. She is a long hauler, we like to say, almost 20 years here with the organization. And her background includes experience in career development, higher education, and training. She is passionate about assisting adult learners to build workplace skills. We want to ensure that navigating career transitions and finding inspiration in the lives and education that's touched. So, without further ado, I now turn it over to Dina. Dina, it's all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Peters, and hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here today and be able to represent Walden University's Career Planning and Development Department. We work with both students and alumni, and we coach and advise on workplace and professional skills. If you haven't visited our website before, we do invite you to do so after this program at careercenter.waldenu.edu. And you'll find resources on many career related topics, including career exploration, resume and cover letter writing, networking and branding strategies, LinkedIn resources, job search tools, interview prep, and much, much more that you can discover. And now we are ready to move on to our topic, which is personal branding for leaders. So during our time here together, we will learn how to develop your personal brand as a civic engagement leader and social change agent. And we'll create a brand statement that reflects your purpose and your passion, explore how to build your brand through new experiences and skills. We'll also discover tools to communicate your brand using career planning and development resources. And of course, we'll have some time for your questions. So let's get started with the basics of personal branding. So first, what exactly is a personal brand? Well, according to the website personalbrand.com, a personal brand is a widely recognized and largely uniform perception or impression of an individual based on their experience, their expertise, competencies, actions, or achievements within a company or community, industry, or the marketplace at large. In other words, your personal brand is how others perceive you and also what is unique about you. It is about how you add value to others and what you're best known for. So today we are going to specifically focus on your brand as a civic engagement leader, emphasizing those aspects of your brand that impact individuals, communities, and society as a whole. So, how do you start developing a strong personal brand to help you stand out and get noticed? Well, the first step is to get to know yourself and look inward because knowing who you are and how you stand out from others really starts with the process of self reflection. Asking yourself questions such as, what are my personality traits and strengths? What are my greatest interests and values? What am I most interested in? What are the values that drive and that inspire me? And if you need a few tools to help you learn more about yourself, the Career Planning and Development website has an entire career exploration tab with free self-knowledge tools to help you with this process. And there you'll find popular self-assessment tools to help you identify your personality traits, your interests, strengths, and your values. And also, there are online tools that are available to help you reflect upon your personal leadership style. And Psych Central and Idealist are great sites, and both of these sites have articles and free self assessments to help you learn about your leadership styles and help you determine which one you exhibit the most. And finally, your image of yourself may or may not match how others may perceive you. And so you want to take some time to also gather feedback about your brand from others. And there's a great free tool to help you do just that. And it is called 360 Reach Self Starter Online Branding Survey. And this online tool can help you send out multiple surveys to people who you know, and they can provide you then anonymous feedback on your brand. So, again, for convenience, we have provided a link to these self knowledge tools and other resources that we will be exploring here during this program. And a link to the self knowledge tools is available in your On24 content module, along with the other links that we will be exploring. So take some time and explore your content module because there's a lot that you can access there as well. So another way to learn more about your brand is to reflect upon your passion and your purpose. To develop an authentic personal brand, it is helpful to consider how you want to make a difference. What are you willing to do to help your community become a better place? And who can better fit from your expertise? And also in what capacity? And which activities do you enjoy doing the most? Is it organizing events or writing articles or um, mentoring others or strengthening communities in other ways? So really reflect on what do you enjoy doing? And finally, in which areas do you want to grow and widen your impact? So now that we've had a little bit of time to reflect upon these important questions, let's take a poll to learn more about your current level of civic engagement. And again, civic engagement, it refers to activities that contribute to the well-being of communities and society as a whole. It can include a wide range of activities from voting to volunteering to advocacy or community organizing. So, what is your level of civic engagement? Take a moment to complete the poll, and Kayla will share the results with us.
And as you guys are continuing to complete that poll, remember that there are no wrong answers. We're just trying to engage with you all and see where you are. Maybe it'll help you find another partner that you can increase your level of civic engagement with. And we still see those responses coming in. We'll give just another moment before I share the final results. All right. Thank you guys for participating. It looks like up at number 1 is that you all are somewhat engaged. Next up, you're not very engaged, but we want to highlight that yet. You're not very engaged yet. And last up, you guys are very engaged. Congratulations.
Wow, Kayla, it's amazing how many people are already somewhat or very engaged. And this is because Walden has such a strong social change mission. And many of us in the community, whether we are students or alumni, faculty, or staff, we are strongly committed to positive social change. And those of you who are not yet very engaged, that is okay. We hope that you will be inspired to increase your level of engagement during this program, and then take some time to discover your passion and your purpose and how you want to contribute. So next, let's explore how to identify your unique value or brand. So whether you consider yourself an emerging or maybe already a seasoned civic leader and are out there doing things for others, consider making a list of your civic engagement activities so far. Also think about any leadership roles you've held, contributions that you've made, and any major achievements. All of these things together can help you define your unique brand and also define how you add value to others. And remember that you don't necessarily need to be in a formal leadership role to be considered a leader, because leadership happens anytime that you take initiative, are responsible for a project, or help others succeed. So let's take a moment to share in the chat a few ways that you have made an impact for individuals, organizations, and communities. How did you make an impact? What are some leadership roles that you had? And Dr. Peters and Dr. Rowe, if you'd like to step in and give some examples, that would be wonderful as well. I know both of you are very actively involved.
Awesome, awesome. I'll jump in. As you said, when I think about making an impact, Dr. Peters and I are actually in the same sorority. So we are in an alumni chapter of a sorority where we do work in the community. Not only do we do work in the community, but we focus on a 5-point programmatic thrust. So we mentor, we focus on educational development, economic development. We're doing so many different things, but it doesn't just stop there. As in addition to that, I serve on a couple of boards, and on those boards, one is the education board for my state. So I help to drive decision making practices within the state of Louisiana for that respective board. And I can go on and on. So, Dr. Peters, I'm going to turn it over to you. Maybe you can give some more examples.
Dr. Rowe already gave some great ones, but let me jump in here. Some of the additional civic engagement opportunities. I sit on several boards too with a couple of youth nonprofits in our area here. I'm in central Mississippi. And so working in underserved areas is a passion of mine. And so I have the opportunity to do a lot of weekends working with youth. I'm helping to build those critical thinking skills, conflict resolution, providing opportunities for academic enrichment. And so we have what we call a youth embracing service component with one of the nonprofits that I sit on the advisory board with, the advisory council. And so we're promoting civic engagement at young age to get that energy started, to get that engagement started, and that you can serve in any capacity. And it doesn't have to be on a large scale. And so just know that the works that you're doing, that builds those resumes, your brand, all of that. That's building who you are. So you are doing great work efforts already that you're probably not even thinking about. So Dina, I'm going to turn it back over to you, but there's just an array of opportunities to be involved on the community level.
And before you turn it over, I'll share some of the items in the chat. We have someone who's worked organizing a community of teacher students around the world through previous work, facilitating a climate educators network, member of an advisory committee for a school board to advocate for disadvantaged youth, former manager for information immunization systems, an advocate for children and family services, mentoring and empowering youth, mentorship programs, outreach between interdisciplinary teams, advocating for affordable housing in my community, working with children and family therapy, mentor, teacher, volunteer, case manager, and just a pause through volunteering as a club master for a local club scout pack. So lots and lots of examples out here. Thanks for sharing, everyone.
Wow, this is so powerful. All of the action that is being done just through our audience here and the people who are attending and are involved in this program, and all of the impact that is being made at a local level and just a societal level. So thank you everyone who has contributed in the chat, and thank you Dr. Rowe, and thank you Dr. Peters. And these skills and contributions, they're all very valuable, and they are all a part of your personal brand. So next, let's take a look at how to create a personal brand statement around some of your civic engagement and leadership activities. And a personal brand statement is used to quickly share your unique value to others. Your brand statement should be short, concise, and include specific details that describe the impact that you made. And we have broken down the personal brand statement into three simple parts: a pronoun, I, action verbs, and then the impact. So this is a very quick, very easy way to put together a personal brand statement. So here are a few examples of brand statements that clearly and concisely communicate the impact that these individuals have made in communities and in organizations. For example, I educate and empower caregivers in rural communities by facilitating accessible and inclusive health education workshops. Or I mobilize volunteer responders and coordinate supply distribution efforts and services for people who have been affected by floods, hurricanes, and fires. Another example is I co lead a student group where I recruit speakers, organize member meetings, and facilitate networking events to create a welcoming, inclusive learning environment. And finally, for more of an example of a leadership role, I serve on a local nonprofit board where I drive the organization's strategy and cultivate community partnerships to influence environmental policy. So I hope these examples give you somewhat of an idea of how to communicate your brand through a brand statement. And as you consider developing your own brand statement, we'd like to also share a list of action verbs that you can use to help you get started. So here on the slide, you can see a list of action verbs for leadership skills. But as you can see here, these can help you get started, but you will find a full list of action verbs in your On24 content module. So definitely take a look at those because there are leadership skills and other types of skills that are listed. And now, with that, it's your turn to create and share your personal brand statement. So let's take a moment to share your brand statement in the chat. And as we wait for the statements to come in into the chat, I'd like to share my brand statement with all of you related to several of my previous volunteer experiences and roles. So I empower adult learners, community youth, and women in transition to develop workplace and professional skills, build confidence, and foster professional, academic, and personal growth. So, Kayla, do we have any brand statements that have come in? And we could probably go on to the next slide as well. And Kayla, I just want to make
sure. But
yeah.
Oh, one says, I am a multidisciplinary professional, blending my passion for music and the arts, commitment to education policy, and dedication to student success and community impact.
I love that. That is perfect. That is a perfect example of a strong brand statement. And it could be used to introduce yourself at events, during presentations, during networking opportunities, and in so many different settings. Wonderful.
I'll read one of mine, or one that I sometimes share on my LinkedIn profile. I said, Dr. Rowe is the founder of I Am Intentionally Authentically Me, passionate about helping others to achieve their next in life through balance and impact. My goal is to move people from what others think and feel about them to the I am principle, appreciating and embracing all that God has created them to be and more. Dr. Rose seeks to make a contribution to life and pay it forward. But my main one is I am a woman on the move, creative confidence coach, educational champion, relevant leader, powerful preacher, prolific speaker, game changer, agent of positive social change, and servant of the people.
Oh, that is wonderful. So much passion is communicated in that branding statement. And the ones that we looked at, they are just a starting point. But as Dr. Rowe um, shared with us, really incorporating what you're most passionate about in your brand statement can help you stand out as well.
We have two more if you want me to share quickly.
Yes,
Serena
that would be
says, I
great.
cultivate relationships through educating and empowering children and family through public health initiatives. Brittany says, I empower individuals. No, I empower and educate people in the community who are disabled and help coordinate services to keep them independent and away from risk and to build a better life. And lastly, Paige says, I empower individuals with mental illness to take control over their symptoms and their lives. I coordinate with other providers and inspire others to commit to changes that they want to see in their lives.
Wow. These are so inspiring and so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing your brand statements. And I just encourage all of you to really reflect on your brand and really live with purpose. That's really what it's about. And really using your brand to make even more of a difference out there. So, next, um, there are many places where you can build your brand. And so let's talk about that. For instance, you can participate in Walden events. You can engage actively in student and alumni organizations. You can get involved in professional associations or organizations. Strengthen your cities and your schools in your community. Support nonprofit organizations, contribute to workplaces and other settings, of course, as well. And our purpose today is to generate a few ideas about the types of roles you can take on in each one of these areas. So let's start with Walden events. Walden, as we all know, is a community of adult learners and social change agents. And there are many events and activities throughout the year, such as Global Days of Service, where you can volunteer in your local community. And there's also the Walden Change Action Network, or WeCan, which is a platform where you can participate in events, or even better yet, organize an event yourself in your area, and then invite other Walden students and alumni to join in and participate. This is just a great way to build your leadership skills and mobilize others. And there are also symposiums, speaker events, and other opportunities throughout the year to present on a topic of interest or expertise. And also, Walden alumni can pay it forward and support the Walden community through activities such as volunteering to be a scholarship judge for the biannual Empower Scholarship Fund. So I just want to do a call out for that. It's just such a fun way to engage. And actually, I try to myself volunteer biannually to be a scholarship judge as well. And these kind of activities can get you connected with the Walden community and feel like you're giving back and making a difference. And other ways to get involved is through student or alumni organizations. Oops. Here we go. Sorry about that. Um, and so, yes, there's a lot of things that you can do with student organizations as well. And here are a few ideas for you to think about. You can serve on a leadership council, or you can volunteer to even be a president of an organization. You can be an event leader or a meeting organizer, a speaker, or even a mentor. So there's just so much that you can do with student organizations. And Dr. Rowe, would you like to tell us a little bit more about student organizations?
Sure, thank you so much. On our next slide, you'll see there are not only ways to get involved in student organizations, but it shows you many of our student organizations. This slide will be shared as well as the deck. But here you will see that we have honor societies, affinity groups, as well as associations. And if you want to know how to join, all you have to do is follow the steps that are here. Of our numerous honor societies, many of them are specific to your areas in which you study. So we have Chi Sigma Iota, for example. If you are a student who are in one of our counseling programs, that would be an ideal one for you to participate in. However, I love to plug the National Society of Leadership and Success. How many of you are a part of NSLS? Go ahead and type into the chat if you've joined. NSLS offers scholarship opportunities for our students and our alumni. So there's some opportunities for you there. Additionally, we have NACA and ACUI as our associations that all you have to do is connect within those, and there are opportunities for additional professional development as well as always scholarship monies that we look for. So here are leadership opportunities right here as a part of your Walden education. So thank you, Dina, for allowing me to share.
Absolutely. And there's so much you can do in student organizations. For instance, you could serve on, as a council member or even assume roles like president and secretary, organize events and meetings. You can present on a topic of interest or mentor other students or alumni. And also, the Alumni Association offers leadership opportunities for Walden alumni, which is really exciting for those of you who are alumni. Just a lot of different ways to give back. And then there's also professional associations as well that you can join. There are many professional associations out there. In fact, there is probably, for your field or your profession, a professional association out there that you can join, both at the national and at the state level. And there are also international professional associations that are available for you. So, like a lot of different places that you can get involved. For example, if you're in the counseling field, you could be a member of the American Counseling Association. Or if you're in the nursing field, you may be a member of the American Nurses Association. And those are just two examples. And to find a professional association in your field or area, you can visit the Career Planning and Development Networking tab and then take a look at the section that's called Associations and Professional Development. And you'll find a large list of professional associations. And there is a link to the networking tab that is included in your On24 content module. There are also so many ways to become involved after you become a member. You could sign up to serve on a conference committee, contribute articles to their newsletter or to their blog, or submit a proposal to present at a conference, or lead discussions and organize meetings. Those are some ideas. And after you've built up your professional reputation in your field, you can even run for the board or even for a president position. So whether you are a student, whether you're an emerging professional, or maybe you're already a seasoned leader, there are many opportunities to contribute at all levels. And other places to contribute are cities and schools in your community. So if we go on to cities and schools, yes, thank you. Consider contacting your city and volunteering at local events throughout the year. There are many opportunities to volunteer in specialized areas such as public safety or even join the Civic League. And if you would like to get involved in the political process, consider volunteering as an election judge. That's really a great way to learn about the political system as well. And if you have children in the school district, join the PTA or lead youth activities. And you may also want to organize your own group based on your specific interests, passions, and skills. And there are also many nonprofit organizations that need your help out there. And there are many roles you can take on in nonprofits. You could organize events, serve as an educator or advocate for people in the community, raise funds. You can mentor others. You can manage or coordinate projects, facilitate meetings, join a committee, or take on more advanced leadership roles, such as a committee chair or even a board member. And many of you expressed that you have already taken on those types of roles. And remember that there are many causes out there and many nonprofits that also support those causes. But again, go back to that process of self reflection and ask yourself, which cause is most important to you? Is it health inequities, or is it the environment, education, mental health, or many, many others? And then consider the time you have to invest in your cause. How would you like to grow as a leader? And what impact would you like to make? And finally, if you are currently working, there may be opportunities in your workplace to also get involved. Consider helping to plan office events, leading an affinity group, or organizing volunteer events with your colleagues, and leading social impact projects or initiatives. And again, these are just a few ideas to consider on how you could get involved. But let's get some feedback from you. Any additional roles that can help you build civic engagement, leadership, and related skills? Any thoughts about that? Take a moment and type into the chat. For instance, you can organize a community event, or you can even serve on a homeowners association board. I know some people who have done that. You can start your own nonprofit. You can run for city council. And Dr. Rowe, Dr. Peters, anything else that you can think of?
Well, Dr. Rowe put a great one in here. What about school? Are you serving in any capacity or any leadership capacity there at your children's school? PTA. We think of it as an invisible position, but it's so critical and so important for building those skills and leadership and project management.
Absolutely. That is such a good idea to get involved in the PTA and even contribute to youth activities, sports even, or other art and culture activities, for example. So much you can do in the schools themselves.
And additionally, we put in scouting as one opportunity.
Yeah.
That's great for youth and families. And then Frederica put in, what about being a social media content creator or being a consultant? And you can definitely take those to expand your brand when you're looking for community engagement or civic engagement opportunities. Many times we look at those as more of only branding, but you can tell your story that way and talk about how you are engaged in those other efforts throughout the community.
Yes. And also faith-based organizations. So many of us volunteer in faith-based organizations, churches, mosques, temples, synagogues, all of those communities. There's so much that you can do to help, and interfaith organizations as well. Yes, so many ways to contribute. Any other thoughts or any other input?
There's a chat where Rhonda said she was just asked to join a board that serves women coming out of domestic violence relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a great way to make a difference and be there to support women and to contribute to the governance of the organization.
Someone said lead educational or informational workshops on topics in which you are a subject matter expert. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We serve at a place called Grace Place, where we serve meals on Mondays, the first Monday of every month. So food banks or opportunities, shelters or youth
Mm-hmm.
centers. The
Wow, great
the many
ideas.
right many of the United Way organizations have virtual opportunities now where you can mail students letters or read virtually to students. So there's so many things that we can do, and you don't have to always go out to do them. Your voice can be heard or your imprint can be made even from your home. Being a foster care parent or grandparent, that's something that's listed there. Being a
Mm-hmm.
poll worker, we talk about civic engagement, giving of your time to be a poll worker or participating in voter registration drives is an opportunity. Neighborhood
Absolutely.
cleanup. I'm just thinking of all of them now, but joining in your neighborhood to just clean up the neighborhood. Sometimes we see trash out, or I know we have an adopt a spot for my sorority, which our chapter has a road that we clean up once a month. And we go out there in the mornings and we clean it up from one end to the other. So you can do that in your neighborhood as well.
Absolutely. Earth Day is coming up very soon as well. And I know I've participated in Earth Day activities where we went and cleaned up neighborhoods. So, yes, so many ways to contribute. So, thank you everyone for sharing that. And then next, let's talk about skills. So, as you consider your options, we also wanted to share a few specific skills that you can cultivate while engaging in civic activities and social change efforts. And you can see them listed here, like public speaking, cultural awareness, communication, active listening, collaboration, influence, mentoring, and many others. And one very important skill is cultivating an executive presence, because that can really help you broaden your impact. And Dr. Rowe, I know you've mentioned that you have some resources or insights about this specific skill.
Yes, definitely. There are several books that are out there on executive presence. Can someone give me a definition of executive presence? What does it mean to you? When we talk about executive presence, what does it mean to you? Let's see what some of those responses are before I share those. Oh, I don't see anyone. What does executive presence mean? It's a combination of skills, if you will. Executive presence is really just the ability to inspire confidence and command respect. When you walk into a room, there's an art of influence that is a part of what you do. There's an art that your projection, your imagery of leadership and capability to do something, people see that just by what you do and by the experiences that you have. So when we look at executive presence, that's something we should all be leaning towards. What is your confidence meter? How do you communicate? Do you communicate with poise and dignity, or are you decisive, or are people always waiting for you to make a decision? Is there an authoritative component that is accepted and not demeaning? Are you aware? Are you engaged? Are you inclusive? So those are areas in which we look for with executive presence. And there is a book called Executive Presence. So I'll drop that link in the chat. But the Harvard Business Review also creates or has an article on executive presence, and I'm dropping that here as well. But you'll have several opportunities to just read through that and learn how you too can engage in executive presence and make sure that when people see you, you're crafting them and bringing through your performance, your hard work, and even sponsorship, that you're a talent that's recognized and promoted.
Thank you, Dr. Rowe. That is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And I also just want to mention that it is very helpful to track the skills that you're building through your various roles. And then if you have a list of skills and you track your skills, you can then later incorporate them into your overall brand. And next, I would like to introduce a few additional resources from the Career Planning and Development website to help with branding, networking, and skills building as well. The Career Planning and Development website offers an entire networking tab that includes information about professional branding, ideas for expanding your brand, and a list of professional associations you may be consider joining. And you also can access an entire page with volunteer opportunities, and there are videos and webinars on the benefits of volunteering for inspiration. And another resource to explore is the Career Planning and Development blog. I'd like to specifically highlight the blog article submitted by Walden alumni ambassadors, Dr. Nadine Spring and Dr. David Doan, which focus on strengthening and cultivating an authentic brand. And now that you have a better understanding of personal branding, it is also time to learn about some essential tools to help communicate your brand. The great news is that career planning and development offers an entire career management system called Skills First that I'd like to tell you about. And before I tell you a little bit more about Skills First, let's take a quick poll. And Kayla, would you like to launch a poll for us? What best describes you? I am a frequent Skills First user. I occasionally use Skills First. I used Skills First once or twice. I have not used it at all. Or, what is Skills First? Tell me more. So take a moment to complete the poll. And it looks like maybe we need to launch the poll there. And you can also type in the chat if you'd like. Yes, let's go ahead and do that. Since it looks like the poll may not be launching at this time, but go ahead and type into the chat. What best describes you as a Skills First user?
The poll is launched at the very top. If they scroll up,
okay.
they should be able to see it.
12 out of 12 have submitted.
We have
okay.
12 of 21 that have submitted.
There we go. Now I can see I have not used LinkedIn. Perfect, 61%. And what is, or I should say Skills First, sorry. And what is Skills First? Tell me more. 30%. I occasionally use Skills First. So yes, there are some people who are using Skills First, but most of you are not familiar with Skills First. And this is kind of what I expected, and that's why I wanted to share this with you. So let's start with the basic question. What is Skills First? It is a robust career management system that is available to all Walden students and alumni, and it's also one of our department's most popular offerings. You can use it to communicate your brand on your resume, on your cover letter, on your CV, or even build a career portfolio. And it has over 600 samples that you can choose from. It also has interviewing and pitch builder modules to help you practice your skills. And all you need to do is log in with your Walden email and password so you can find access to Skills First on the Career Planning and Development website. And if you're a Walden alum who no longer has access to your Walden credentials, you can still use the system and email us at careerservices@mail.waldenu.edu, and we will send you a special alumni access code to access the system. And there's more information about Skills First in your On24 content module, but I quickly wanted to highlight that it does offer 70 plus custom Walden preferred resume and cover letter samples. So on the next slide, you can see some of the samples that are listed. And then on the next slide after that, you can also use Skills First to be able to build a career portfolio. So here are the sections of one of the career portfolios in the system called the general portfolio template. And it's a really, really great way to capture all of your activities. You'll see that you can highlight your licenses and certifications and work samples and academic samples and professional and academic activities and volunteer and community projects and so much more. And after you create your portfolio in Skills First, you can generate a link to share with others, or you can add that link to your resume to further highlight your brand. So this is just a great way to show others what you've accomplished throughout your Walden experience and beyond. And then let's quickly look at the next slide. There is a pitch builder module, and you can use it to confidently share your unique value and practice communicating your professional brand to others. So then you can share your brand at professional community or university events, during conferences, before giving presentations, when engaging in volunteering, and in other settings. And then along with the pitch builder on the next slide, you'll see there's an interviews module. So you can prepare for informal or even formal interviews, whether you're interviewing now or in the future. And you can use this module to help you confidently answer questions related to your personal brand, such as tell me about yourself, or what are your strengths, and related questions. Great. And then as you develop your brand as a civic engagement leader, we do hope that you take the time to explore all of the career related resources, systems, and tools that are available to you through career planning and development. And I'd also like to remind you that today's webinar was designed to give you a general understanding of personal branding and generate ideas on how to build and communicate your brand. But in the next two webinars, we will dive even deeper into communicating your brand. So please join us on the upcoming Communicating Your Brand on LinkedIn workshop. And also we have communicating your brand on your resume. So we will work on your LinkedIn profile and generate ideas for incorporating your brand in your header, in your about section, and in your skills sections, for example, to help you build a strong online presence as a leader and social change agent. And then in communicating your brand on your resume, will help you take your resume to that next level where you'll learn to develop a resume brand statement and stand out through your many accomplishments and achievements. And now I know we're coming to the end of the program, so let's open it up for any additional questions about personal branding. And do we have any additional questions in the chat?
As you guys are thinking of those questions, don't forget that there are no bad questions. We're here to help you. Go ahead.
Yes, that's right. We would like to know what questions you have about any of the resources that we have shared with you, or any of the tips provided here. We had some wonderful participation earlier in the sharing of our accomplishments and aspects of our personal brand and personal brand statement. resources about executive presence, and so much more. So,
Now
Kayla, do we have any questions that came in?
we haven't received a question yet, but we have received a comment. This was great. And I know you guys are going to take time and soak all of this in. And don't forget that you can continue to access this recording afterwards. So don't feel like you have to ask everything now. So don't feel shy. Ask away any questions that you have currently, but don't forget you don't have to ask everything now.
Wonderful. Oh, we have some really nice comments that are coming through the chat. These resources and presenters have been great. Thank you for sharing, Dr. G, Kayla, and Ms. Bergren. And definitely great. Lots to think about. With links and
Yes, and to
certifications
answer the question
to our
about the
emails.
links and certificates, we will send them to their emails within
Awesome.
48 hours.
Yes, and also just a reminder to look in the On24 content module. There's all of those links in there as well that you can save on your computer. Okay, well, I think we are a little past the hour, so I think we're ready to wrap up the program. So let's go to the next slide. And as we start to wrap up, remember to review the resources in your On24 content module and visit the Career Planning and Development website. We also invite you to schedule a career advising appointment, reach out to our team, follow us on social media, and read articles and success stories on our blog. And with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Dr. Peters to share any final thoughts with us.
Awesome. I do see a few late questions, and I don't know if you wanted to take that question, Dina. The question was, everything was very helpful. The question was about personal branding. Does it go hand in hand with the resources on the school site about creating our own student organization? And does it have to be tied straight to Walden? So I know that probably Dr. Rowe can jump in here just for a second, since I know that was a late question that I wanted to elevate. Does anyone?
Yeah, and I can step in a little bit too,
Yeah.
and say that personal branding can happen at Walden and outside of Walden, but Walden offers so many opportunities through the student organizations, through the alumni association, through civic engagement and leadership, through WeCan and other ways to help you build that personal brand. But absolutely, you can take it outside of Walden as well. But hopefully, the activities that you're doing outside of Walden, you'll also bring back to the Walden community. And Dr. Rowe, would you like to add anything to that?
And I can just jump in here, and I will tell you this: everything is meant for us to cross cultivate, as we like to say. With all of our resources, they work hand in hand. They're interdisciplinary, so that you can use those at your disposal and be able to apply them for whichever situation that is needed. So yes, by all means, we definitely appreciate that. So let's go ahead and wrap up. And we sincerely thank everyone for being a part of today's session on personal branding for leaders. We hope that you're walking away with some practical tools to showcase your value online and in person. We hope this session has been valuable, that you can reflect your authentic leadership style and your passion for driving social change. So as Walden students and alums, your voice and your vision matter. Let your personal brand reflect the leader and the change maker that each of you are here today. So thanks again, and we cannot wait to see the impact that you will make.